So when you go to the beach, somehow sand always feels hotter than water. So this is because water and sand, they have different specific heat capacity. So specific capacity is a chemical property of different materials. So sand and water, they are both considered matter. Everything around us is defined as matter. And matter is considered to be anything that occupies space and has a mass. So for different materials, different matter, they have different physical and chemical property. Those properties are determined by their composition. So chemistry is a science that trying to understand how matter behaves by studying what's the composition and how the composition behave. So fundamentally, matter is made of atoms and molecules. So atoms are the smallest building blocks of matter that can exist as a stable independent entity. So you can think of as matter is made of different type of atoms. And when you have atoms together, they can make different elements and molecules. So atoms are so small that a single grain of sand contains more atoms than there are grains of sand on the large beach. So when atoms come together, they form different type of molecules, including including elementary molecules or molecules made of different type of atoms. So atoms and molecules, they are tiny particles that compose all common matter, and the characters as well as properties of a molecule depend on the atoms it contains and how it's shaped. So for example, water is a very special molecule. So water is, as a matter of fact, it's the only substance that can exist as a liquid, gas, and solid at room temperature on Earth. So for example, if you think about iron, iron only exists as a liquid, high temperature, and solid at room temperature, right? You've never heard iron gas. And water is the only material that can exist as a gas, liquid, and solid. So if we look at one specific water molecule is made of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. So oxygen atom is in the middle, and then oxygen atom bound with two hydrogen atom. And this molecule is not linear. So water molecule actually has a bent shape, has a bond angle of 109 degrees. So this is determined by the electronic structure of oxygen and hydrogen, which is the atoms water is made of, determines its shape and determines the physical property. For example, one of the reasons we can use water to cook is because water has a relatively high boiling point compared with other molecules that have the similar mass. So this is another property of water. So fundamentally, water shows the behavior or the properties show it's because of water is made of oxygen atom and hydrogen atoms. So chemistry study different matter and different substances. So everything around us is considered matter, and almost everything you can hold and touch is made of chemicals. So chemicals make up virtually basically everything around us. Chemistry explains the properties and the behavior of chemicals by help us understand the molecules and atoms that compose them. Chemicals are not just, dangerous things. Water, the food, coffee you drink, they are all made of different chemicals. So chemicals, they are matter, right? So the only thing, and by definition, matter has must occupy and occupy space and has a mass. So one form that's not considered chemical or a matter is energy. So for example, in this practice question, heat is not a chemical. Instead of heat is a type of kinetic energy, while glycerin, water, and sodium chloride, they are all chemicals.